Welcome to the deep dive. Ever walked past a Baccarat table in a casino? You feel that high stakes vibe.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's got that aura.
Right. A bit mysterious, maybe seen it in movies, but you're not quite sure what's going on.
Exactly.
Well, today we're going to cut through all that. This game, it looks complicated, but it's actually surprisingly simple.
It really is at its core.
So our mission here in this deep dive is basically to give you the ultimate shortcut to Baccarat.
Uh-huh.
We want you to understand it fast, feel confident, and honestly, maybe even play a bit smarter.
Get that edge.
Yeah, the goal is you walk away feeling like, okay, I know what I'm doing at that table.
And what's cool about Baccarat is, yeah, it looks sophisticated, but the actual mechanics, super straightforward.
So what is it then, fundamentally?
Basically, you're just betting on one of two hands. You've got the player hand and the banker hand.
Okay.
And you're betting on which one gets closest to a total of 9. Simple as that.
And there's a tie option too, right?
Yeah, there is, yeah. The tie bet, we'll definitely get into that one later.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Okay.
But yeah, mostly it's luck, sure, but knowing a few things, that little sprinkle of smarts, it helps.
All right, let's get into those mechanics then. How do the cards work? The dealer deals out cards, right?
Right. 2 cards go to the player hand, 2 cards go to the banker hand, face up.
And the values, are they like standard poker values or?
Mostly intuitive. Cards 2 through 9, they're just worth their face value. 2 is 2, 9 is 9.
Simple enough.
The faces are easy too, they're worth 1.
Okay.
But here's the big difference, especially from something like blackjack. 10s, jacks, queens, kings, all worth 0.
0, really?
Yep, zilch. They add nothing. So if you have like a queen and a 5, your
Right.
total is just 5.
Huh. Okay, that simplifies things. What if the total goes over 9? Do you bust?
No, that's the other neat trick. You don't bust.
Right.
If the total is, say, 15, like you get a 7 and an 8,
Okay.
you just drop the first digit.
Yeah.
So 15 becomes 5, a 10 becomes 0, 12 becomes 2.
Wow, okay, so you're always aiming for that single digit closest to 9.
Exactly. It keeps the math really, really simple.
And what about hitting? Like deciding to take another card?
Well, here's the best part. For you as the player, you don't decide that.
Oh.
Nope. The dealer handles it all. There are really strict rules about when the player hand gets a 3rd card and when the banker hand gets one.
So I just sit there.
You just sit there, place your bet, and watch it play out. No strategy decisions needed on drawing cards. It's all predetermined.
Okay, that removes a lot of pressure, I guess. So understanding the cards is one thing. Where do you actually put your money? The betting option.
Right. 3 main choices. And this is where, knowing the odds helps.
Let's hear him.
Okay, first up, the banker bet. Now, statistically speaking, this one wins slightly more often.
How much more?
It's about 50.68% of the time, roughly. It's because of those 3rd card rules we mentioned. They give the banker a tiny, tiny edge.
But there's a catch, isn't there? The commission.
Exactly. That's the trade-off. If you bet on banker and win, the house takes a 5% commission from your winnings.
So if I bet $100, I only get 95 back.
Correct. A $100 win pays $95. That commission is how the casino makes up for that slight statistical advantage the bet has.
Makes sense. What's the house edge on that one then?
It works out to a pretty low 1.06%. Very good as far as casino games go.
Okay, 1.06%. What about the player bet?
The player bet, now that pays even money, no commission. Bet $100, win $100.
Sounds better already.
Well, it sounds better, but it wins slightly less often, around 49.32% of the time.
Okay, so the odds are a bit worse.
Just a tiny bit. The house edge on the player bet is 1.24%. Still low, but just slightly higher than the banker.
Right, 1.06% for banker, 1.24% for player. So banker is statistically better, even with the commission.
Precisely. Over the long run, yes.
And the third option, the tie.
The tie bet. This is the siren song of Baccarat for some people.
Because the payout is huge.
Exactly. It usually pays 8-1, sometimes even 9-1, so you bet $10, you could win 80 or 90.
Tempting.
Very tempting. But it's a long shot, a real long shot. It happens less than 10% of the time.
Ouch. And the house edge must be high.
Oh, it's high. It's a whopping 14.4%.
14.4%. Wow.
Yeah. Compared to just over 1% for banker and player, it's generally considered a sucker bet, a trap.
Okay, so that huge payout is just bait, really.
Pretty much. It plays on that desire for a big win, but the math just isn't there for the player.
So putting this all together, what are the key takeaways for playing smarter? Like actual pro tips.
Okay, tip number 1, and it flows directly from those odds we just discussed. Bet on the banker.
Even with the 5% commission.
Even with the commission. It's statistically the soundest bet you can make in Baccarat. That 1.06% house edge is the lowest of the 3.
So swallow the commission fee for the better odds?
Basically, yes.
Right.
Over time, it's the mathematically superior choice. It stings a bit when they take the 5%, sure, but it's worth it.
Yeah. Got it. Tip number 2. Seems obvious now.
Avoid the tie bet.
Like the plague.
Like the plague. Seriously,
Mm-hmm.
that 14.4% house edge is just brutal. Why give the house that much advantage when you have options like banker and player with edges just over 1%?
Makes total sense. Don't fall for the big payout number.
Exactly. Stay disciplined. Which brings us to tip number 3, and this applies to any casino game, really.
Let me guess. Manage your money.
You got it. Manage your bankroll. Baccarat moves fast. Hands are quick. It's easy to lose track.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
So before you even sit down, decide how much you're willing to risk. Set a budget, and crucially, stick to it.
And maybe pocket winnings if you get ahead.
Absolutely. If you're up, maybe decide, okay, if I get up by X amount, I'm putting that aside or I'm calling it a night. It helps you walk away a winner sometimes, or at least limits the damage.
Good advice. Very practical. Okay, let's talk about the table itself. You see people with scorecards, right? Tracking
Oh yeah, the big road, the small road, the cockroach pig. They have all these elaborate ways of tracking streaks. Player, banker, player, player, banker.
Does it actually help? Can you predict what's next based on the past?
Okay, here's the thing about Baccarat. It's random. Truly random.
It's a coin flip.
Essentially, yes. Each hand is an independent event. What happened in the last hand, or the last 20 hands, has absolutely zero statistical impact on the outcome of the next hand.
So tracking patterns is pointless.
From a predictive standpoint, yes. It's a classic example of the gambler's fallacy. Our brains are wired to see patterns, even in randomness.
Right. We want there to be order.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in Baccarat, chasing streaks or betting against them based on a scorecard, it doesn't change the underlying odds. It might be fun for some people, a ritual, but don't get sucked into thinking it gives you an edge.
Okay, that's actually kind of liberating. Just bet banker and let the cards fall.
Pretty much. Stick to the best odds, manage your money. That's the core strategy.
And what about just fitting in? Baccarat tables sometimes feel a bit intimidating.
They can have that vibe, yeah. But it's usually quite friendly. Just basic casino etiquette applies.
Like what?
Be polite to the dealers and other players. Don't touch the cards unless you're in a specific type of Baccarat game where that's allowed, which is rare in most casinos now.
Okay.
Make your bets clear. Place your chips neatly in the betting area for banker, player, or tie before the dealer calls no more bets.
Simple courtesy, really.
Yeah. And if you have a nice win, or if you've been playing for a while and enjoying the service, tipping the dealer is always a good gesture. It's appreciated.
Good to know. So it's not as scary as it looks.
Not at all.
All right, so let's recap. In just these few minutes, we've covered quite a bit. You now know the quirky card values, tens and faces are 0. Drop the digit over 9.
And the key bets. Banker, slightly better odds despite the commission. Player, pays even money, slightly worse odds.
And the tie bet.
Avoid it.
Yeah.
High payout, terrible odds. Remember that 14.4%.
Got it. And manage your money, don't chase patterns.
That's the essence of playing Baccarat smartly.
So next time you're in a casino, you can walk up to that Baccarat table with actual confidence. You know the score.
Exactly. You understand the best bet, you know why it's the best bet, and you know the pitfalls to avoid.
So thinking beyond the game itself, this whole randomness thing in Baccarat, the illusion of patterns, it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, if we know that in a clear-cut game of chance like this, patterns don't actually predict the future, what does that say about how we look for patterns elsewhere?
You mean in life?
Yeah.
Like in the stock market or, I don't know, trying to predict bigger events?
Yeah, exactly. How much are we seeing real trends versus just noise, just randomness that our pattern-seeking brains are trying to make sense of?
That's a deep thought. Recognizing where genuine cause and effect exists versus where things are just, well, chance. That's a skill that definitely goes way beyond the casino floor.
Something to chew on.